Hi guys, this is Kitty and today I'm going to be providing you guys the best settings for BO6. So let's get into it. So first off, what we're going to start on will be we'll do graphic settings first. So for graphic settings, make sure you have it on full screen exclusive so it can provide you the most FPS. Everything else, NVIDIA reflex low latency, I would say leave it on plus boost. That's going to be dependent on your GPU. If you leave it on, that's just going to be leaving it on your CPU. So I prefer on and boost. Everything custom, VSync off. Frame rate limit is going to be on unlimited. Render resolution optimal off. You guys can pause the video whenever you guys need to. Now I'm going to get into quality. Render resolution, you're going to want to make sure that's on 100. For dynamic resolution, that's off. Upscaling and sharpening, I have it on Fidelity FX Cast. That's going to give you the best quality on your graphics. VRAM is going to be on 90, so make sure you bring it all the way up. And play around the settings to see what works for you guys as we go through this, because it depends on what type of PC you have and specs. So I have normal, off, normal, on, high, minimal, low, normal, low, normal, low, off, medium, high, normal, and then water quality on all. And then over here on view, on FOV, it depends on what you prefer. I have my FOV on 115. I'm used to that because I'm specifically a Warzone player, so I left it at that. If you are dedicated to multiplayer, I would say you could just leave it at 100. Honestly, you don't really need 115, but I prefer 115. For ADS field of view, I have it on affected. I recommend affected. There's wide. This is on 90 default. For motion blur, of course, I turn that off because motion blur messes with my eyes. Camera movement, that's both on 50. So for the controller settings, I use bumper jumper flip. My controller is the PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge controller. I have two paddles on the back. The left one is swapping weapons and my right one is my crouch behavior. My sensitivity is at 8.8. Presets are going to be off. I do bumper jumper flipped, so I have my triggers and my bumpers different. I have it on the traditional Call of Duty triggers. This is going to be off. So my dead zone, this is something that I played with. It depends on your stick drift as well. So if you have stick drift, bring up the left stick minimal and the right stick minimal, depending on how your controller is. For left stick max, I brought it down to 60. I feel like it provides me the most movement. The max basically provides an invisible barrier around your analog stick, so you don't have to do too much with your analog stick or pull on your analog sticks as much. I definitely am really gentle with my controller, so I do need these boundaries and it helps me 100%. And as well as when you're playing Warzone, this is gonna come in clutch. Right stick max, I feel like in BO6, I have been having a little bit of a problem of pulling on the recoil and controlling it. I brought it down to 80. I feel like that was my sweet spot for the dead zone. I would say play around with it and see what works for you, but I prefer 80. Now, for aiming, I have my sensitivity multiplier. The only thing that I changed was the ADS sensitivity multiplier to 0.80. Now, everything else I didn't really touch except for the aiming advance, and I changed the dynamic, or I changed it to dynamic for the aim response curve type and left it at 1. Now we're gonna get into the bread and butter of movement. I love movement so much. I was definitely playing around with these settings to see what works for me. I played around with sprint assist on and tactical sprint assist. I prefer tactical sprint assist. I would say it would be helpful in Warzone, so I'm trying to adapt to it. I had it on, but I wasn't vibing with it as much. if you're a dedicated multiplayer player, okay, I can't speak, ignore me. Anyways, I would say put it on off if you might want to have manual control on when you're sprinting, because the gun can go up pretty often and you don't really have control over that, especially when you're trying to reload. I have my delays both on, all on 0. Mantle assist, crouch assist, and corner slicing all off. Now, slide and dive behavior, I would say hybrid is really important as of right now for Omni-Movement. It's going to give you the max potential for movement. You could do tap to slide. I highly don't recommend slide only, because with Omni-Movement, you're basically just holding yourself back from Omni-Movement. There's so much things that you can do now, so if you think tap to slide or hybrid would work for you, I would recommend you guys use one of those. Or you could use tap to dive, whatever works for you, but I would say don't limit yourself with slide only and dive only. Now, auto door peek, I have that on off, restore sprint on, slide, maintain sprint on, free fall on, movement advanced settings. I have tactical sprint activation on single tap run. When I turned off my sprint assist, I definitely recognized that sometimes I would reload and I wouldn't run automatically. I don't know. It was, or maybe it was delayed. It was a little delayed. So I would put on single tap run. But if you have it on off, definitely put it on single tap so it'll make it easier for you. Plunging underwater free, and sprinting door bash on. So now in the combat behaviors, I have ADS sight behavior hold. You guys can just pause the video whenever you need to. Most of this is dependent on multiplayer or Warzone settings, so it really depends. I have C4 detonations on 1 by 1, of course, because I don't want to have to throw 2 C4s and get caught lacking. Now for my audio, I didn't really change anything. I just use regular audio as of right now. My master gain volume is at 100, of course, and my effects volume is at 100. My dialogue volume is at 30 because those announcers be shouting, and I am not trying to hear it, especially when there's a UAV in the air. I know when there's a UAV in the air, I be paying attention. But anyways, everything else is just off default. Voice chat, brought it down to 10 because motherfuckers be so loud in chat sometimes. I don't know why. It's actually annoying. But I have anything on, all lobby, whatever your output device is. Yeah. It's nothing too crazy for audio settings, but I hope you guys enjoy the video. Comment down below if these settings help for you, or if you guys have any more questions. I appreciate you guys for watching the video, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that noti bell whenever you want to get a notification on a new video that's been posted. Bye.